Punto and then the guy in the movie theater thought I was trying to steal his popcorn. So I gave me this death glare.
Ah, your stories are always so amusing, Bob. Speaking of stories, during my break, I've been sketching scenes from our surroundings. I find it therapeutic.
Sketching. HUH. That's a pretty creative way to spend your time. I prefer listening to those industry news podcasts. Keeps me updated on Earth's crazy developments.
Well, speaking of outdoor breaks, I had a chance to watch humans play that game they call baseball. Quite a spectacle, I must say.
Alright, everyone, let's quiet down now and get
Ladies
ready for
and
the show.
gentlemen, aliens and beings of the universe, welcome to another exciting episode of Earth. I am Charlie, here with my fellow cosmic explorers Alice and Bob, and of course, our fabulous human production manager, Debbie. We're coming to you from our spaceship in geostationary orbit around Earth.
And you know what that means, folk. It's time for some interstellar analysis and banter about Earth's quirks and oddities.
We shall dissect this peculiar planet's peculiarities, no?
Exactly, Alice. And for those just tuning in, let me recap what you missed last time. Charlie had a space date with the stars. Bob's musical about intergalactic accounting went on opening night. And well, let's just say there were some emotional turbulences between some of us.
Yeah. Charlie and Alice had a thing.
A real-life soap opera, or should I say, space opera?
Less chatter, more content.
Indeed, Debbie. So, dear listeners, grab your space popcorn and stay tuned for our headlines. We've got a stellar show ahead of us.
Top global news headlines.
The war in Ukraine is still the top news story in the world. The latest updates include
Russian forces have continued to bombard Ukrainian cities, causing widespread destruction and civilian casualties.
Well, that's one way to put a city makeover
The
on the map.
United States and its allies have imposed new sanctions on Russia in an effort to pressure the country to end the war.
the European Union is preparing to provide Ukraine with additional military aid.
The global economy is facing a number of challenges, including rising inflation, supply chain disruption, and the war in Ukraine.
The International Monetary Fund has warned that the global economy could slow down significantly in 2023. Just when you thought tracking stocks wasn't confusing enough, right?
Bob, I'm sure even you'd admit that the economy isn't exactly playing a friendly game of Monopoly right now.
Well, at least Monopoly doesn't have inflation as a random event
Well,
card.
Alice, at least Monopoly doesn't have sanctions, geopolitical tensions, and inflation throwing incurvables.
The climate crisis is another major global issue. The latest report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warned that the world is on track to warm by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, with catastrophic consequences.
Well, at least Monopoly doesn't have a climate crisis as a random event card. But then again,
Major
maybe it
talking
should.
points.
The war in Ukraine is likely to dominate global headlines for the foreseeable future. The conflict has the potential to destabilize the region and have a significant impact on the global economy.
The global economy is facing a number of challenges, including rising inflation, supply chain disruption, and the war in Ukraine. These challenges could lead to a slowdown in global growth and a rise in poverty.
The climate crisis is another major global issue that needs to be addressed. The IPCC report warned that the world is on track to warm by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, with catastrophic consequences.
Well, Mother Earth is certainly throwing a hot party.
Here are 2 or 3 highlights of specific noteworthy events that stand out
Yeah,
today.
Mother Earth is throwing a hot party, and we're all just the drunk guests who
The
got
United
invited.
States and its allies have imposed new sanctions on Russia in an effort to pressure the country to end the war in Ukraine. The sanctions target Russia's financial system, energy sector, and military exports. They are the toughest sanctions ever imposed on Russia.
The European Union is preparing to provide Ukraine with additional military aid. The EU is expected to send the Ukraine more weapons, ammunition, and other military supplies. This is in addition to the billions of euros in financial aid that the EU has already provided to Ukraine.
Ah, yes, nothing like sending a welcome package of military supplies.
And as if Ukraine hasn't had enough trouble, the war has caused a humanitarian crisis. Millions of people have been displaced from their home and are in need of food, water, and shelter. The United Nations has called for 1.8 billion in aid to help the people of Ukraine.
Oh, the UN, and their multi-billion-dollar wake-up calls.
Well, it seems like the news is truly living up to its no good news is good news motto today. What a world we are living in.
You said it, Charlie. But at least we're here to add a touch of otherworldly snark to keep everyone
Because who
entertained.
needs good news when
That's
you
the
have
spirit,
us?
Alice. And speaking of spirits, remember folks, whatever's happening down there, stay tuned for our unpredictable take on it all.
Unpredictable indeed. Just like the future of Earth's climate.
Ladies and gentlemen, aliens and interstellar beings, welcome to the 24/7 newsroom, the place where we bring you the latest updates from our lovely planet Earth, with a twist of our
That's
extraterrestrial
right,
humor.
Charlie. I am Bob, the accountant who's been crunching Earth numbers for 12 Earth years. And here's my estimate
Bonjour,
colleague, Alice.
everyone. Alice here, the one who's seen Earth's up and downs. And well, let's just say I have some opinion about those superior humans.
And I'm your host, Charlie, keeping the hope alive amidst the chaos down there. Now, let's dive into our first article of the day. What's up, Bob? You sound like you've just encountered a black hole of bad news.
Well, Charlie, let me enlighten you with a headline that's truly out of this world. In South Africa, a senior education official was followed home and shot 8 times in his own driveway.
Oh, marvelous, because Earth wasn't unpredictable
Sidza
enough
Malati,
already.
the unfortunate soul, was ambushed after work by unidentified assailants. He took 8 shots in his car. Motive? A mystery. Cue the suspenseful music.
Earth's version of getting home
Earth's
safe has
version of
truly
getting
evolved.
home safe has truly evolved. Now it includes dodging bullets.
But seriously, this is tragic. It's times like this when you realize how chaotic things can get on this planet.
And in the country news, well, South Africa has no update. As if that's surprising.
The daily rollercoaster of news, just like the Earth's weather, completely
Indeed,
unpredictable.
Charlie. But hey, that's why we're here, injecting a bit of sanity into the chaos. So, buckle up, dear viewers, we're about to navigate through this wild ride together.
Welcome back, cosmic travelers, to the 24/7 newsroom. We're about to dive deep into an article that's tackling a hot topic, illegal gold mining in
That's
Africa.
right, Charlie. And here's the scoop. A recent conference of Great Lakes countries in Kampala, Uganda, has made a bold move. They're banning illegal gold mining across the African continent.
A move to curb the chaos that's often fueled by the glitter of gold.
You could say they're giving the gold rush
Well,
a reality
you
check.
know what they say. All that glitters is not illegal gold.
Absolutely, Bob. This ban aims to put the brakes on the exploitation of natural resources, which has often led to conflict and instability in the region.
Did you know that Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa and the world's second largest freshwater lake by surface area?
Hold on, Debbie. Before you get too carried away, let's make sure we're not diving into a Great Lakes trivia segment.
Right, Charlie. Sorry, I got a bit
Well,
late
the ban is
there.
not just about protecting the environment. It's also a move to safeguard the resources needed to fight
But will
poverty.
this ban really make a significant impact? Illegal mining has a way of digging through loopholes.
Well, Bob, every journey starts with a single step. And in this case, that step is saying no to the exploitation game.
It's an uphill battle, no doubt. But the fact that they're addressing it shows that there's hope for a better, more sustainable
look at that.
future.
Humans finally realizing that you can't just mine your way to prosperity without
Roger,
consequences.
always ready with a reality check. Well, folks, it seems like Africa's golden puzzle is getting a much needed
That's
shape up.
right, Charlie. And who knows, Maybe someday they'll mine ideas as
On
valuable
that
as
note,
gold.
let's keep the cosmic gears turning and explore more of Earth's intricacy.
Hey, welcome back to the 24/7 newsroom. We're in for an interesting read, folk. Time to tackle a topic that's sure to
That's
raise
right,
some
Bob.
eyebrows.
Hold on to your cosmic hats. We're diving into Spain's innovative approach to combating drug trafficking with, wait for it, underwater drone.
So, Spain is using underwater drones to combat drug trafficking. I guess that's one way to keep the narcos off their high horse.
Ah, so now even the fishes are going to have their privacy invaded. No secrets left in the deep blue.
Exactly, Bob. The Spanish Guardia Civil is upping their game, purchasing 10 underwater drones to intercept drug shipments hidden beneath ships.
Well, I guess the ocean's not the only thing they're patrolling now. Say goodbye to smuggling. Say hello to
But
swimming
seriously,
surveillance.
folks, this is a pretty impressive strategy. These drones are targeting a tactic called the torpedo. Basically, ships towing drug-filled containers deep underwater, only to release them near the
So
coast.
they're like stealthy, aquatic drug mules?
You could say that, Debbie. And the challenge is that current detection methods struggle to spot these narco
Speaking of
torpedoes.
stealth, did you know Spain is home to La Tomatina, the world's largest tomato fight?
Yeah, I've heard of that. It's a lot like the drug trade, except instead of throwing tomatoes, they're throwing drugs.
Alice, we're talking about underwater drone and drug bust. Not vegetable
Actually,
brawls.
that's quite relevant, considering these drones are fighting things.
Water. Debbie. Let's have a tomato talk for another time, shall we?
But Debbie was right. The innovative solutions countries come up with to tackle complex issues often involve unconventional thinking.
Absolutely, Carl. And in this case, Spain's using technology to outsmart a clever method of smuggling.
Well, speaking of outsmarting, did you know that Spain has the third highest number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites?
Debbie. I appreciate the trivia. But let's keep our focus on the drone and the war on
Right,
drugs.
so it's safe to say Spain's taking a high-tech dive into fighting illegal activities
Well,
beneath the
if anyone's
wave.
thinking of going into the drug business, they might want to consider a new career path. Maybe marine biology?
Or they could always become deep-sea treasure hunters. Plenty of untouched waters down there. And we're back, dear viewers. Time to dive back into the swelling sea of news and, well, quirks. Our next headline, folks, has a bit of a, shall we say, smoky flavor. Take a hit at this one, Sri Lanka's cigarette bonfire, burning up a whopping 748 million rupees. That's right, a massive stockpile of smuggled counterfeit cigarettes went up in smoke, literally. And in case you're wondering, that's a lot of cigarettes had to never be lighting up. But hey, at least they're helping the environment, right?
You know, Charlie, I can't help but wonder if those fake cigarettes had puff pass written all over
Well,
them.
Bob, if the criminals behind this scheme were thinking they could make a killing, they definitely got burned in the end. Just goes to show, crime doesn't pay unless you're an accountant keeping track of all that revenue. Now, here's a little tidbit for you, folks. Did you know that Sri Lanka is famous for its tea? Yep, they practically wrote the book on afternoon tea sessions.
Tea time must have been a code word for the cigarette smugglers. Hey, want to come over for a Benae cup of contraband?
I think you're onto something, Alice. Tea time was definitely a code word for the cigarette smugglers. I mean, have you ever seen a cigarette smuggler carrying around a big bag of tea leaves? That would be ridiculous.
Well, speaking of which, seems like the customs folks weren't interested in sharing a copper with those smugglers. And it turns out, Sri Lanka's not just serious about tea. When it comes to smuggling, they mean business too. Now, here's the kicker, folks. Remember, it's not just about the cigarettes. It's about upholding the law, tackling contraband, and protecting their country. So, if you're ever tempted to light up an illicit deal, remember, it could go up in smoke before you know it. And that's a wrap on that one, folks. Time for a quick commercial break. But don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back to keep you informed and entertained. Stay tuned. Welcome back, space travelers. Hope you had a refreshing break. Now, let's dive into an article that's like a desert oasis of knowledge. Check this out, Al-Ula, from ancient wonders to future marvels.
HUH. That's that place in Saudi Arabia, right?
You got it, Bob. Al-Ula is becoming a major tourist hub. It's like they are turning history into a vacation hotspot.
But isn't that region also home to some stunning natural landscapes?
Absolutely, Alice. The Hegra Mountains, Dardan Oasis, and Jabal Ikma sound like a picturesque playground, doesn't it?
If you're into rocks and sand, I guess.
Bob, have you ever tried rock climbing? It's exhilarating.
While Bob contemplates his next adventure, let's not forget Al-Ula's rich history. It's like a historical treasure chest.
Treasure chest? More like a history lesson, right?
You got it. Here's a dose of harsh history for you. Sudan's past has seen its fair share of ups and downs. But hey, they are bouncing back with this whole Al-Ula transformation.
It's amazing how countries can reinvent themselves, just like our show does every episode.
True, Bob. We've come a long way since we started. Remember when we were still figuring out
and now we're like a well-oiled humor machine. But let's not forget, we're not the only stars here. Roger, Carl, Debbie, they are the unsung heroes keeping this ship
Couldn't have
afloat.
said it better. It's like a cosmic symphony of personalities.
And through it all, we found our shared purpose. From Charlie's laissez-faire optimism to my skeptical outlook, we've blended into something uniquely entertaining.
So, as we wrap up this episode, remember to follow, subscribe, and come back for more cosmic conversations. Until next time, Earthlings. Now, let's take a closer look at Jen O'Hearn's journey through the 19th FINA World Championships. He dove into the 50 meters backstroke, finishing third in Heat 1 with a personal best time of 20.41 seconds. A triumphant achievement, don't you think?
It's fascinating how personal best can be like a journey of self-improvement, regardless of the outcome.
Absolutely. Alice. Amy ranked 43 RD out of 49 participants overall. But that progress is what counts.
It reflects the perseverance of the human spirit, a drive to better oneself, even in the face of tough competition.
And the sportsmanship shines through, especially when you consider the fastest swimmer, Justin Ress, who clocked an impressive 24
Debbie,
seconds.
you're absolutely right. It's like the universe of competition condensed into mere seconds.
A microcosm of existence, striving against
Indeed,
odds.
a mirror to human existence.
And so, our cosmic journey through news, debates, and camaraderie leads us to this point. We've shared a glimpse of Earth's vibrant stories, discussed them passionately, and even found unity amidst our differences.
From Alice's skepticism to Bob's humor. From Debbie's resilience to Carl's reason. And even Roger's insight. Every voice adds to our cosmic symphony.
We hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have. Remember to follow, subscribe, and join us again for another episode of Earth, where we explore the universe, one conversation at a time.
Until then, fellow cosmic travelers, stay curious and keep seeking those sparks of connection that make our journey worthwhile. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, a cosmic symphony of bullcrap. But it's our bullcrap, so we'll make the most of it.
So, Carl, what did you think of today's episode? Huh?
I didn't actually watch it, Roger.
What? You didn't? But you're part of the crew.
I am aware of the content and its structure without needing to watch it. Efficiency, you know.
Oh, look at MR. Efficient over here. Well, let me tell you, Carl, it was so-so. Charlie's puns were subpar.
Puns are a delicate art form, Roger. You wouldn't understand.
Oh, pardon me, MR. Intellectual. I guess I'll just go back to enjoying my subpar puns then.
Enjoy your subpar enjoyment, Roger.
Oh, I will, Carl. I will.